All right, guys, welcome back to the shop. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my videos. As always, like and subscribe. Oh, goodness, it's taken a long time to get here. So we're at part 4 of this 5.7 Hemi build. Just wanted to get everybody caught up to speed and show you where we're at. Also show you a couple things that we've had to modify. So if you're taking on a project like this, you'll kind of understand, I guess, some of the things that you might have to do. A couple of these I've searched online trying to find information on, and evidently we must be the unicorn because I couldn't find hardly anything, if not anything, on some of these things that we've had to do. So hopefully this will help you if you're trying to take this project on. So we got the engine into the car finally, all bolted into the transmission. We've got all the electrical components as far as the injectors, map sensor, everything done. You can check out the video that I did on the Holley Sniper intake where I discuss the ports that are on the back there for things like your brake boost, evap, and then also where you'd run the outlet side of your catch can that runs back underneath to one of those ports as well. So obviously not a big deal getting the engine in. It's a little bit of a pain with the long tube headers there, but it's manageable. You just got to kind of finesse it in and you can get it in there. So first thing that we had to modify, we'll start here with the oil dipstick. So normally it sits over here and it has this little bracket that is welded to it and it bolts to one of the exhaust manifold bolts. So as you can see, had to cut that out because we could not get it to turn up with the BBK long tube headers. So we cut that bracket off and then just rotated it in the oil pan 90 degrees so it's facing forward, and that seems to work just fine. We've already checked the oil and everything at several times. It works just fine. So again, here on the catch can, we ported the passenger side of the Holley Sniper intake, 1/8 inch pipe thread with a 90 fitting that comes out to the catch can. And then, like I said, the outlet side of the catch can goes to the bottom side of the intake. Over here, since we went with the larger throttle body, we had to get a different adapter here. So this is a 4-inch ID by 3.5 inch ID adapter, 90 degrees. You can pick these up on Amazon. So normally the one that comes with the K&N Black Hawk air filter here is 3.5 by 3.5. But again, because we went with the larger throttle body, we had to upgrade that. Over here, so the stock tube that comes with the K&N Black Hawk looks like this. Actually would normally go in here like this. There's your air sensor. This is a spot for a mounting bracket, which is right back in here. We'll eventually take that off. And then this is for your crankcase, getting fresh air from your filter into the crankcase, and it goes right here. So because the Holley Sniper intake set so high on the engine with the spacers and everything we had to do, when we connected this up, it basically would sit in there like this, if you will. And it wasn't sitting very flush with this heat shield. So we didn't really like that, so got rid of this. Back to Amazon for some 3.5 inch aluminum tubing. These are 2 45-degree pieces that I bought and then just cut them down to make them work with the compound angle here to make it flush, nice and square with the heat shield. And then on the adapter here, so there's an adapter that goes from the air filter to your 3.5 inch tubing. That does not have any bolt locations, even though on the inside of it, it has nut zerts. There's no spot over here, and there's no instructions with the K&N filter to tell you to drill holes or do anything here. So we didn't really like that because it enabled this to move a little bit. So we went ahead and drilled some small holes here. I think they're just about 1/4 inch. Put a couple of screws in there with some lock washers, as you can see. And that helps hold it then to the heat shield. So I think that's a way better setup. Again, I think we can get rid of this bracket here. It's not really gonna work now that we have this different tube anyway. And then the only other thing I need to do is port this, waiting on the part to show up. Basically, it'll be pipe thread to a hose barb, 3/8. That'll match this one up here. We'll run a short piece of tubing here to that so we can get fresh, clean air into the crank. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Again, if you watch the other video on the Holley Sniper intake, you'll see where I talk about getting the Michigan Motorsports injector adapters. You can kind of see how that all went together. We chose to run the fuel line on the driver's side. I did see a couple people running it on the passenger side. We just got some new fuel line, got some of those quick connect adapters or fittings there, some hose clamps, and that high pressure fuel injection hose there in the back, and made the connection. That seemed to work. Okay. Going around here, we're just getting the brake rotors and pads and everything cleaned up. We're gonna be rolling on some 20s. So this is from American Muscle. These are the Hellcat replicas, 20x9 with a 20mm offset. I already checked it over here, at least on the front. I will tell you that a 20mm offset and a 20-inch wheel does clear this part of the suspension, and it's about the thickness of my thumb. So you got a solid 1/2 inch or so there. We will get the tires mounted as soon as they show up, get everything bolted on. I'm sure that will be in another video. So the other thing I wanted to show you here is what we had to do to the exhaust. So you can see here, we cut the cats out and a short piece of the stock tubing. Okay, so roll underneath here. All right, so of course we got the BBK long tube headers. The next piece here is an adapter. This one actually goes from 4 inches to 2.5. And then I cut it down here just a little bit so it fits better inside that ball socket that comes on the long tubes. From there, we went into a set of new cats. This has 2.5 inch intake and outlet. It already comes with the weldlet already for your O2 sensor. We put new O2 sensors in here. I will say that the ones that I got, they were longer than the stock ones, so we didn't actually have to do the wire extensions that a lot of people say you need to do. I don't know if it's just our specific O2 sensors that we got, but that seemed to work out just fine. So the next piece of tubing here is stock. It's 2.5 inch. We kept these two pieces right here since they were already bent like that, and we wouldn't have to mandrel bend the new ones. Now we get into a new X pipe. This one's about 12 inches long, 2.5 inch on both sides. So your stock exhaust is 2.5 inch to right about in here, and then it goes to 2.25. So we didn't want to do that quite yet, so we kept 2.5 inch going, and then we got back to here. These are 2.5 inch to 2.25 reducers or adapters, and then we decided to go ahead and use the 2.25 inch clamps here, so that way we can easily undo these and remove this whole front section of the exhaust. The idea behind that is at some point we'll put in a set of cutouts, so it'll make it easier to just pull these pieces off and put the cutout somewhere in here. Looking at the low profile cutouts for this. So hopefully that explains kind of what we did there. Again, same thing on the passenger side, long tubes, an adapter, new cat, O2 sensor, of course, stock piece of pipe here, and then it ties into all the stock pieces all the way back here to your muffler. Coming out of there, it's 2.25 to your resonators. All right, so I hope that helps everybody. We are gonna get this thing topped off with fluids, run it through some heat cycles, and then hopefully in the next couple of weeks, get it over to our tuner, get that thing on the dyno, and see how much horsepower it can make. So stay tuned for that. we'll definitely do a follow-up video. But again, I wanted to get you guys caught up on where we're at. Like I say, if you've been following the videos, you know that this has been a long project for us. We started, I think, September or thereabouts of 2023. It's now, let's see, middle of May 24, but we finally got this thing in, and now it's just gonna get it fired off and get it to the tuner and see if all the work that we've done has made it worth it. So again, I thank everybody for watching the videos. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video where we turn this thing on, get it running. And then of course, when we do go down to the dyno, we'll be sure to have a video of that too. All right, guys, till next time, thanks for watching.